who risk their lives to save and protect lives during natural disasters or conflicts, among others. The theme for the 2023 World Humanitarian Day celebration, no matter what, aims to bring partners from across the humanitarian system together and work collectively for the survival, well-being, and dignity of people affected by crisis. As the world marks Humanitarian Day today, we will be examining the role played by humanitarians, challenges in the course of their duties, amongst others, not just on the world, but in Benue State and its peculiarities. I am being joined in the studio by a humanitarian, Sewese Bem, convener, Beautiful Gate. Sewese, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Charles.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, the mention of Beautiful Gate brings to mind a story in Acts chapter 3 of the Bible, where Peter and John met with a lame man who was born from birth asking for alms. Uh, where did you derive your inspiration from?
Absolutely. I'm a Christian, so I draw my inspiration from the Bible entirely about helping people to give them a life, to give them a second chance to face life fully. So it is from the Bible, just as you rightly quoted.
This year, I mean, the World Humanitarian 2023
Yes.
has the theme,
No matter what.
no matter what.
No
What does
matter
it
what it
want to
is.
drive home? What point?
It's trying to drive home that times are very tough. Terrains are low, the tide is high, but no matter what, we should push to help people in crisis. We should push to avert conflicts. We should push to help people who need this aid so that there will be peace, there will be proper welfare, there will be everything humanity deserves, and there will be love and peace and generally a proper welfare which humans need.
Okay.
No matter what, we should do it.
All right. So who is a humanitarian?
A humanitarian is somebody who cares about humanity, is kind, and is always driving to protect life, to bring welfare to people that are in crisis or in conflict. There could be a volunteer
Okay.
who are doing it out of the goodness of their heart, just like me,
Yeah.
or somebody that is a paid employee.
All right. Okay. And now, what are the cardinal principles of this organization?
They include humanity,
Okay.
impartiality, independence, voluntary service, and accountability.
All right. Now, say we say, we are talking about a crisis, and not just the world, but Nigeria and Benue State have been plagued by series of humanitarian crises. How would you describe the situation in Nigeria and Benue State?
The situation in Nigeria is devastating. We have about 145 IDP camps in Nigeria and about 30 IDP camps in Benue State. And over 2 million people housed in these 30 IDP camps in Benue State.
Mm.
These people are plagued with crisis from herdsmen attacks, internal crisis, other natural disasters, and are brought together. First barrier, we have a barrier which could be language, because I have heard of crisis in Agatu, a predominantly Idoma speaking area.
Yeah.
I go there. If I speak in English, the emotions, the meaning will be lost along the way. So there are other barriers which are gender barriers, which if I go to the far north, as a woman, I am not supposed to give assistance or comfort a man, and vice versa. And there are other barriers which could be traditional and religious. And then we have insecurity problems, and we have dangers, like some persons are affected in natural disaster. They are caught up in places that have been turned over. They are caught up in fires, in water, and there is a question of attacks, and then there is government policies and clampdown on humanitarians. Then there's lack of resources. It is never enough. It is never enough for their clothing. It is never enough for shelter. It is never enough for food. So these are some of the challenges we are facing. And as a humanitarian, you go there to help. You see people dying. You see people suffering. You are caught up in their emotions. And in the end, on my depression. There are sometimes I go in the innermost of my room. I do not want to talk to anybody. I want to be alone because I am trying to discharge what I have gone through for this person. And 2 years ago, I had a vigil for about five IDP camps in the state, and
Mm.
I discovered that these victims are lacking counsel. They are suffering. Apart from giving them food and shelter, which is grossly inadequate,
Mm.
they need to be counseled. They need to be told that you are not going through this because it is your fault. Help will come, aid will come, it's going to be better. They need hope. So when we are gearing towards giving them the basic needs, we should think of their mental health too, because this is a lot of problem and it affects we the humanitarians as well, because it takes a personal call for you to go into humanitarian work. And when you go there, you take the person, you feel like them, you become them, and we go through a lot. And then lack of resources. Food and shelter is very important. So resources are not enough.
All right. This year marks the 20th anniversary of the humanitarian service workers,
That's right.
and this day, what exactly informed the setting up of this organization?
The setting up of this organization was informed as a result of a crisis that actually happened in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
It was devastating. Afghanistan was a secular nation. Then all of a sudden, a religious upstream came up and started tackling people upside down. You can't go to school. You can't have Western education. You can't do that. You must dress somehow. And there was a clampdown. People were killed. Jungle justice. There were moral police that were policing people. And then the United Nations saw that this is not good. Humans should have freedom, human rights. It should be freedom of expression, freedom of living, freedom of everything. So basically, humanitarian activity to mark a day, which is 19th of every
August,
August,
yeah,
started actually in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Yes,
I learned that the killings even involved 22 persons or so,
that's
and
right.
the representative of the UN headquarters,
Yes,
Iraq
yes.
secretary, was killed
That's
alongside the 22 persons.
He was killed, unfortunately, for no fault of his.
All right, moving forward, how would government come into helping these humanitarian workers?
Government will come in with better policies. The government needs to trust humanitarian organizations. There's lack of trust, basically. So if government come in with security and even providing some resources to aid, it will go a long way. But most importantly, it is the trust. There's lack of trust. Sometimes they even give the dog a bad name to kill is that you are going there not for that humanitarian job. You're
Mhm.
going in for political unrest and other things. So the government can help by trusting us, helping us with resources and providing us with security and tools to work. If they do this, it will go a long way. And I must applaud the government for what it is doing, but unfortunately, their efforts are not good enough.
Wow.
They have been trying to give humanitarian aid in shelter and food, but it is not good enough. They should try more.
Okay, now, in your own opinion, what should be done to uh, reduce crisis in Nigeria and even in Benue State?
Thank you very much for that wonderful.
The UN headquarters,
Yes,
Iraq
yes,
secretary, was killed
that's
alongside the 22 persons.
he was killed, unfortunately, for no fault of his.
All right, moving forward, how would government come into helping these humanitarian workers?
Government will come in with better policies. The government needs to trust humanitarian organizations. There's lack of trust, basically. So if government come in with security and even providing some resources to aid, it will go a long way. But most importantly, it is the trust. There's lack of trust. Sometimes they even give the dog a bad name to kill is that you are going there not for that humanitarian job. You're going in for political unrest and other things. So the government can help by trusting us, helping us with resources and providing us with security and tools to work. If they do this, it will go a long way. And I must applaud the government for what it is doing, but unfortunately, their efforts are not good enough.
Wow.
They have been trying to give humanitarian aid in shelter and food, but it is not good enough. They should try more.
Okay, now, in your own opinion, what should be done to uh, reduce crisis in Nigeria and even in Benue State?
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. Reduction in crisis will be tackled when we have understood what the crisis is meant for. We should not just come in and just look at what has happened. We should study the nature of the crisis, then come up with solutions that will be lasting. If it is ethnic crisis, who started this? Was it supposed to be this? If it is religious, why is it this way? Why is it that way? Then again, most of these crises come because of lack of security. Government should beef up security,
Okay.
especially in the case of Fulani headsmen attack. These persons, when they venture to go back to their ancestral homes and farms, they are attacked again. So government should beef up security. No one is going to have a good life living where it is not your home. So security should be improved so that they can go back to their homes, and this will stop affecting the economy. We in Benue State are majorly farmers, and that is why we are called the food basket of the nation. Since the advent of this herdsmen crisis,
Yeah.
the production of food has reduced and gross revenue has reduced. Generation of revenue has reduced grossly, and it is affecting. You can't even create jobs because which would have jobs in agriculture, you can have these things to practice because our environments have been taken over by the bad people. So it is about time that the government should stop being afraid, should stop being shy, and stop all the menace affecting these persons and relocate them back to their ancestral home to have a better welfare, to improve the economy, and to improve the welfare, the general welfare.
All right. When you were talking, you mentioned the unestimated number of persons that are in IDP camps in Benue State
That's
and even
right.
Nigeria.
That's right.
But do you have an estimated figure of persons that need attentions or assistance from humanitarian services in the world? It's a global assistance, a global figure.
A global figure, I studied and I discovered that close to 100 million persons,
100 million.
yes, needs humanitarian aid. There are some persons that are dying. There are, especially in the Horn of Africa, there has been drought. This one is a natural disaster. It's not a crisis or a conflict, but they still need the humanitarian help. So there are people who are going through lack of food because of a drought and crisis and other problems. So there are over 100 persons that need humanitarian aid across the globe.
All right, thank you, sir. We say, let's have your parting words to people out there.
Hello, everyone. No matter what, sometimes what your neighbor needs is not a piece of cloth, it is not food. They just need a prayer. They just need you hugging them, holding their hands, and telling them that it's going to be well. Let us treat our brother with love and hope and give them hope to live the next day. No matter how it is strong, if you don't have anything to give, like Peter said, we have no silver, we have no gold, but we are going to give the gift of walking. So give something. If there's no material thing, give the words. Thank you and God bless.
So thank you very much, say, for being so inspirational and also resourceful as far as issues in the news is concerned. We very much thank you for your contributions.
It's a pleasure, Charles.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's say, Kambina, beautiful gate.